Oh, we are recording, Robert. Yeah, that's okay.
Yes, we are.
Thank
Yes,
you.
recording and streaming. So the stream is immediately following. We will, in fact, remind me if you would, and I can post the link in chat, and then everybody will have the stream immediately afterwards. I'll make a note to myself here, but knowing me, if you remind me, that'll ensure that that takes place. Okay. Very excited with what's been happening here. One of the things that we'll touch upon. I'm going to go through the presentation, try to do that very, very quickly, and then at the end get into a discussion about some very exciting news with new traders that we're just absolutely excited about. And I'm assuming we are having a drawing today. Is that a safe assumption?
Yeah, if there's new people on the call, we can have it drawn. Yes.
Okay, very good. Obviously, that'll be on the basis of having guests here. If there's one guest, he's got pretty good odds, or she does. So that'll be your call. Obviously, it's your money, Robert, and I'm always appreciative of you being generous, doing that. So thank you. Before we get into all of that, though, most important is the risk disclaimer. It's very important. The reason you see high returns and the type of stuff that we're doing. John Arting, welcome to the call. There's a face I haven't seen since I was in Europe. Nice to have you with us.
Robert, screen share.
Oh, yeah, that would work better, wouldn't it? Yeah. You see? You don't have to be too bright to do this. So, risk disclaimer. The reason that we're paid high returns is there is risk involved with this. And, people don't address that enough in my opinion. Having the kind of returns that we enjoy from time to time and the kind of losses that we enjoy isn't the right word, that we suffer through, it involves risk. And so, don't spend the mortgage money, don't spend the rent money, don't spend the grocery money, never risk funds you cannot afford to lose. In other words, that's probably the most important statement on this slide down at the bottom there. I won't, you can take a screenshot. I would encourage you to do that. There's just, you go to the bank and it's relatively safe, even though your money's in fiat currency. So that's, debatable how safe that is, but let's just say that you view that as safe, and yeah, it is. But how much is a bank going to pay you in 1 year, on a return? Generally, in most places, it's under 1%. And if you have the kind of inflation that we have in the US, and I know you have in the UK, I suspect, well, other places maybe as much or more, you're going backwards on 1%. So, that's why people are here. They like to have better returns, and having the ability to do that means that you have to have some risk tolerance. You have to have the ability to look and say, okay, I'm willing to put some funds at risk, try to mitigate the risk to the degree that you can, but it's very important to address that. So I won't belabor that anymore. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert Burns. I'm married to a lovely woman named Anna. She and her daughter, Alexandra, hail from Romania originally. We just went to visit Alex, and our brand new grandson, Sasha, was born then. My son, Robbie, is in Bozeman, Montana, and enjoying life there, tying into fly fishing nicely. I'm going to go out and visit him very soon. There's some world-class fishing there, and really great fun. Nice place. In fact, it's the per capita, the highest number of billionaires anywhere in the world. I was kind of shocked about that. Bass guitar is another thing I'm very into. I play electric bass. And on my professional resume are things in Forex, been trading on and off for a long while, and I'm finally committed to really, no kidding, learning how to do it myself. And one day you may see me as one of the traders, hopefully sooner than later. Real estate and crypto, I also really like a lot. Things that are numbers. I've been involved in other kinds of businesses, in networking, like nutrition, and it's just not my cup of tea. I mean, it's just, I really always gravitate toward things that generate income. I feel more comfortable there. Internet marketing and team building, I've been doing forever, literally since the late 80s. And not internet marketing because it wasn't out yet, but team building for a long while. And then internet marketing, before it was called internet marketing, we were using online marketing. So that's something that's very exciting stuff. And what we're about to show you today is really I'm most excited about, and I think I can speak for Robert Russell as well. We're pretty excited about what we're going to be showing you. What we'll get into is copy trading. Copy trading, by the way, is very, very simple to explain. You get good strategies, that people have good strategies, either a human trader or a robotic trader or a hybrid. What's a hybrid? That's somebody that has a robot that's really good, but they manage it so that it's not left to its own devices. That may be the very optimum type of trading. In other words, you get the robot that doesn't, need sleep and it can work around the clock. But then if you have challenging situations, the human can intervene. And that's something that we'll be, explaining and exploring more. But copy trading is the ability to hire that strategy, have them trade into your trading account that you create on Robo4X. You don't have to have one iota of trading experience yourself, although we'll show you how you can easily and gently get into that. Robert's got a whole program that he's doing, which I'm just very excited about, because it takes somebody through being able to manage even their own copy trading account a little more effectively than they would just leaving it by itself. So copy trading, here's the essence of it. It's passive income and it's very simple. If you've got the right traders, you can have really, really good results and not have to do a lot yourself, which when, I was traveling over this last couple of months, it was sure nice to have that going on and not have to worry about things. Also, we'll get into the solidity of the broker, why that's important. Withdrawals, of course, that's super important. You want to be able to get at your money. How compounding works. We'll touch on that. The affiliate part of this, which by the way is completely optional. If you're a client and you don't like, you're too busy or just don't like doing the affiliate part, no problem. You don't have to do that. It's totally optional. Then at the end, we'll have a drawing and then the Q&A will get into the discussion of the new traders and why we're so excited about them. So starting out, the broker is one that when I first encountered Robert Russell, I had already decided I liked this broker before we met. And I had it on a list of brokers that I wanted to get an account with because I fancied myself somebody that does, research, hopefully well. And this was on a list of brokers that was on the very short list of ones I wanted to get, but it wasn't compelling enough at that point. I didn't have something to do with it until I ran across this good looking Irishman on his page. And I went, yeah, and he's got copy trading, passive income. Wow. Okay. Tell me more. Well, the rest is history. I liked what I saw in February. I like it more every day. And why the criteria that I chose when looking at this as a broker, you don't get 4.5 million clients by accident in 169 countries. That takes time to do. That takes diligence. That takes somebody that's performing. And there's lots of awards that you'll see in the mix with Robo4X. The company is regulated in the country of Belize under the regulatory body called the FSC. The company participates in a coalition of different financial or Forex brokers that are part of a commission that provides provides arbitration for clients. If client has a dispute with a broker that's a member of this commission, the independent body of participants provides arbitration on a dispute. And if you prevail and the commission determines that you are entitled to be compensated in prevailing in a dispute, you're paid up to 20,000 euros. So that's a nice gesture to say, look, we're going to be even-handed and be fair. Now, what are the instruments that you can access in Robo4X? Well, of course, Forex, no surprise there. Cryptocurrencies, stocks, indices. Indices are things like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the often called the US 30, that as well as the DAX, the German 40 is a very popular one in our group here. The US 30 is, there are others. They're not a pair. They're just an index of like in the US 30, the top 30 industrial companies in the US. Very similar with the DAX, the German 40, top 40 industrial companies in Germany. And the UK 100, the NAS 100 are examples of each of the respective countries having this same kind of thing. There you can trade a variety of indices or indexes. Additionally, there are ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, soft commodities, things like coffee, cocoa, wheat, soybean, et cetera. Energies, this is a popular popular grouping, oil, natural gas, heating oil, ethanol. And then lastly, metals, gold, silver, and so forth. These are also very popular, very volatile. They can be treacherous sometimes, and then you can look like a hero. Traders here tend to be a hero or a goat, one of the two on any given day sometimes. So again, the awards are you can, I won't read this stuff to you. You can take a look at it. They're very well thought of, and for good reason. They're a fine broker. Now on the traders, some of the things that we look for in the criteria of a trader is, do they manage the accounts well? Because somebody can be a good trader for a few days, a few weeks, and then suddenly have a real bad day. Well, probably the number one item of anything is consistency of trading. That's the thing that is the absolute top of our list in terms of the criteria we use to choose traders. We'll talk about that more with the traders, that we'll be discussing. And yes, I'm teasing you. I must. We're so excited about what we're bringing out. And do the traders keep drawdowns low as possible? And there's a happy balance between the amount of drawdown. Drawdown, by the way, for those that don't know that, or that's an unfamiliar term, it's unrealized loss. So when you open a trade, almost always, with few exceptions, you're in a slight loss, and that might get a little bit bigger. It's not realized until you close the trade. A drawdown is an unrealized loss generally. Sometimes it can be a unrealized gain, but again, that's unusual. Past performance is it's at least a reference point, although the market can change, as the saying goes, past performance is not an indication of future results, but it gives you at least some indication of how they've done in the past. The win ratio in trades. This is an important one, although not. Some people put too much emphasis on this because there are traders that can trade 40 or 50% wins and still make you a pile of money because they manage their stops properly. So this can be a little bit deceiving. You can have a 90% win ratio, and the guy that trades 50% wins clobbers the guy that gets 90% wins as far as profitability. Telegram channel group, do they communicate? Are you able to ask questions and interact with the traders? And to me, this is not optional. If I'm going to put my money somewhere, I want to be able to know who's trading it to the degree, we have to maintain anonymity of traders, but we want to be able to interact with them. And then what are the total trades and the total number of subscribers or investors that they have? Those are good indications. Now, this is a tool that we use, and we're expanding this to, in addition to my FX book, there's another one called FX Blue. My FX book just had a hack, and they were down for a few days. It was my reminder that I needed to get my butt in gear and get FX Blue running. So you'll see that with my FX book, the coinciding FX Blue account. So you can look at one or the other. They have a little bit different format, the two of these. These are like, think of this like the report card of the trader. In other words, it tells you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. It tells you what their overall gain is. It tells you what their daily gain is. It tells you what the monthly is, what the drawdown is. How much did they earn today, this week, this month? Everything you really want to know about the trader, and a lot more that it may be just kind of esoteric, but it gives you a huge amount of detail on the traders. And as you start to become familiar with this format, you can tell pretty quickly if the trader is to your liking or not. I look at, for instance, and I know a lot of people will look at the daily return, the monthly return, and the drawdown. Not surprisingly, they put those very prominently right there. And that's important to look at and to be able to get a sense of how is a given trader performing. Here's a trading bot that many of us use. This drawdown is way understated. It does have pretty high drawdowns from time to time, but it has always worked its way out of them, and always, knock on wood, hopefully that won't change. It did change. Well, I'll just leave it at that. I need to update this slide. It's much higher than that, but the return is like clockwork. It's consistent. This is up now around 40%. Something like that. I mean, it just chugs along. Now, it's not as powerful as some of the other trading strategies, but as far as consistency, it does check that one off the checklist. It's very consistent. Here's a graph. Now, let me ask you a question. You look at this graph and you say, is this a good trader? What do you think? Is this a trader that would pass muster with you? Oh, it looks pretty good, right? Up and to the right. All that looks pretty acceptable. I submit it's not. And you know why I say that? Because there's something missing here. Any guess what that is? Losses. I want to see little shark bites. That's what I call them, little shark bites. Took a little bite out of the hide, little bite out of the hide, little, not a big shark bite. I don't want a great white. I want a little shark, right? In other words, what this is demonstrating is that this trader closes trades at a loss. That's good. Don't mistake a loss as a negative thing. The very best traders on the planet that are great traders have losses. And the idea that you want to see that, you want to embrace this idea of a loss, because look what happened. Right away, recovered, up, little loss again, right away, recovered, little loss again, right away, and it's up and to the right, little loss. He's even getting better as he goes along, it looks like. So don't be put off by losses, you know, like that idea of 90% trader, or we had a gold trader, and I knew better than this, and it was stupid in retrospect. We had a gold trader that clobbered us. Why? Because he didn't have shark bites. He just let it run, let it run, let it run. And we got clobbered. We went underwater. When he ultimately had to close that trade, it was just not good. So, you know, you try to learn from your mistakes. And I know many of us learned painfully from that mistake. I had some really big accounts and they got hurt and I looked like a goat, and we're going to make that up. But these are the things you learn in this process and learn to avoid as you go on. Now, how do you get your money in and out? You can use Visa and MasterCard most places. AstroPay, I'm not really familiar with, or Add Cash, but these are apparently payment systems. Not apparently, they are payment systems. Skrill and NetTeller are other ones, apparently not applicable for EU clients. So this is country specific. If you're in an EU country, most of the EU countries have crypto also, which is really handy. Many of us like using crypto because it's quick and it's inexpensive to get money in and out. Some countries do not have that. The UK, for instance, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, UK does still not have crypto. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. India doesn't have Visa and MasterCard. Go figure. You know, it just varies from country to country, but know that there is a system to get money in and out. They're very efficient. And really one of the key things that we're reminded of when we get these withdrawals generally very quickly, under 24 hours, is that this company is over 12 years old. They're solid. There's a lot to like with having a company that has their act together and gets things done properly and quickly. To demonstrate that, Robert Russell put together just a little sheet here that is, you know, this is when he was first involved. Some of these are relatively recent, May, but showing the use of crypto, bank transfers, meaning bank wire, Visa, MasterCard. One of my favorite systems, and many people like it, is a company called Wise. If you can get Wise in your country, I'm a big fan. It's inexpensive. You can transfer it to whatever your native currency is. So if you're in Nigeria and you want to use your Visa, MasterCard, you can transfer it to Naira. If you're in the EU, you can take your dollars and convert it over to euros. You get the idea. In other words, Wise is a very useful thing, and you can go in and out with the Visa, MasterCard from that company. Very handy, very handy. And then there's some other transactions here. All of these are USDT. Key thing is that, you know, you see some of these are taking 10 hours. Some of these are taking 2 hours, you know, or minutes, literally. I mean, it's 13 minutes. Look at that one. Bang, for a bank transfer. Now, again, I want to emphasize this again, because what I'm about to show you, people can get pretty excited. May contain, that's a misspelling. That just drives me nuts when I see that. Let me see if it's going to do this. I should have never done that. You see, this is the Mac version of the blue circle of death. That was that little spinning colored thing. There we go. Contain. There we are. Problem solved. These are countries, by the way, that RoboForex is not available in. Note the USA, US citizens, Canadian citizens, Japanese citizens, Australian citizens, and so forth. One that should be on the list here that isn't is the country of Spain. Even though it is in the EU, it's not available there. So sorry if you're in one of these countries. You may know somebody that you have as a friend that isn't, and there's a way to, you know, to do that if you choose to do that. My wife, for instance, you're saying, wait a minute, you sound like you have an American dialect, and you'd be right. How are you here? Well, my wife is a dual citizen. She's a Romanian citizen and a US citizen. Therefore, we're able to use her Romanian citizenship for KYC purposes, which is handy. And again, the most important thing I can share with you is mitigate your risk. Never risk funds you cannot afford to lose. You know, don't mortgage the house to do this. You know, don't spend the rent money or the food money. You know, if you have discretionary income and you can afford to take risk and hopefully do a good job of mitigating that risk, good on you. So what we're going to get into now, big fun stuff. This is one of my personal favorite segments because it really can be an eye opener for people about this notion of how does compounding work? What is compounding? So we're going to get into this. I'm going to send in chat right now a link to the calculator that I'm using. So look in your chat as we speak and you'll find the link. Excuse me, just a minute. One thing I'm noticing is I have more allergies here at home than I did when I was in Europe. Maybe that tells me something. Spend more time in Europe. So compounding. What is compounding? Compounding is the growth. Whoops, let me get over here. Compounding is the growth of your money over time and taking what you earn and adding it to the trading balance each day. So compounding, Albert Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And old Albert was a pretty bright guy and he was pretty right. I mean, it is amazing. What I want to show you is I want to show you, let's presume you're through the experimental phase and people will come into Robo4X or copy trading like this and put in that test account money. I get it. I do the same thing. But there's a point at which you say, okay, now I want to really, I'm confident, I like what I see, or you say, this isn't for me. I mean, that may be the case also. But if you cross that line into, yep, I'm ready to really put some money in here that can make a significant amount of money. I mean, we have trading accounts where somebody can put in $100. Now, if you get a 3% return, that's a great return as a percentage, but $3, 3%, it won't buy you a lot, even at McDonald's. You know, let's be real. Now, if you have a $10,000 account, that would be $300. That starts to sound a bit more interesting. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you a $10,000 account. You can adjust this. It could be 1,000. It could be 500. It could be 50,000. That's a very subjective thing as to what is the amount of money that you're putting in after you've done your testing. But let's use $10,000. And now, what do you think is an interest rate, is a reasonable interest rate? And keeping in mind, this is daily. Let me have people put in what they would be tickled with as a daily rate in chat, if you would, please. What do you think? %1.3%. Yeah. 2%. 0.7%. 2. Okay, so we've got some numbers all over. I'm gonna pick one that's a little more conservative than y'all. That's a Southern American phrase, y'all. Texas. I like Texas. We've got a good friend in Texas. 1% per day. Do you think it's achievable? Now, keep in mind, if you're going to have a 1% net, what do you have to have if the trader is charging you 30% of your profit? You got to have something probably north of 1.3, right? To get to a net of 1. Does that make sense? In other words, the trader has to eat, they have to make a living, so they're going to charge a performance fee. Let's use 1%, knowing that we've already taken the 30% haircut off the top, okay, to get to a net of 1%. Now, here's a really important question in this calculator, guys. Don't miss this, because if you choose yes here, your account's going to be overstated. Be sure to choose no. Include all days of the week. You don't want all days of the week. This is Forex. It trades 5 business days. That's it. Okay. And ready to go. Additional contributions, no. Start today. What do you think the number is going to be? What is our 10 grand going to turn into in 1 year? Oh, I didn't define that. Sorry. In 1 year. What do you think? We got a good group today. I'm so happy. Oh, welcome, Helen. Nice to have you with us. A name that I have been chatting with lately. 150K, says Coleman. 40K, says Robert Russell. $47. John, you're a bad man, John Arting. All right, let's see. That bad boy, if assuming, the most important thing on that whole thing is that percentage and the consistency with which that's achieved. Consistency is a word you'll hear us use quite a bit because it's so important to making this whole process work. Your 10 grand would turn into $134,000. That's a 1,242% return. Imagine that. And you're, what are you going to get from a bank? Obviously nowhere near this kind of number. The banks are doing this. That's how they're able to lend the money and grow the money so readily, is they take our money and they leverage it like crazy. So here's just a little bit on how this calculator works. We've got earnings right here, which is, in July, we have about half the month left. August, we've got the full month. So at the end of July, you had this balance, which is 11,156. You start August with that amount. In August, at 1% a day, every trading day, you would earn a profit of 28.69. That's added to the overall balance. And now your account is at 14,000. Keeping in mind, this is a month and a half, and you went from 10 to 14,000 in a month and a half. That's pretty good, right? By most people's measure. And you start then September with 14,000, you earn 32.59. This is compounding, working, guys, right before your eyes. And notice it gets better and better and better because it's getting bigger geometrically. You're adding the earnings to your account balance and then starting the next month with the earnings included. So, by, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 months in, your 10 grand has turned into $41,000. That's a 4x increase of your account size. What I'm going to submit is you might want to consider somewhere in between September and October, if you let it run at 100% reinvestment, you would have turned your 10 into 20. Somewhere in here, take out your 10, get it back. Get your initial seed money back, your initial investment back. You now have reduced your risk a lot. The only risk you have is the time you invested in getting all of this going. The actual principal that you put in initially, if you did that, you'd have it back. That's a good plan for, many people really like that idea because you then have, Robert uses the phrase de-risk. You've de-risked your account. And then at that point, you can start and maybe you continue on this plan and continue 100% reinvestment. Or you say, I'll wait until it gets to 50K right here in February of 24. Let's put that at 50K. And at that point, I want to start taking out withdrawals readily. This assumes you've already gotten your 10 back. You then trade the 10 that you have left, meaning you got to 20, took 10 out. You've got the return of your investment. You let it run until it gets to 50. And I'm going to start this in, I'll just pick a month. I'll just go to August. Let's pretend that however many months went by that were necessary to get there without getting into the minutia of that. Let's say that at that point, you're continuing that. And let's say that you want to take out 50% and you want to leave in 50%. You're starting in August, or let me make it so it's more real, like 6 months in. I think that was the beginning of, we'll call it beginning of February. There we go. So February 1, you've grown the account to 50 grand. Now you're going to take out 50% and leave in 50%. Let's see what that looks like. And again, you're not trading all days of the week. You just want your business days. Calculate. Your 50 grand will turn into 180. Wait a minute. That's the investment value, because this changed now that I put it 50-50. Here's the total earnings. Here's the amount your investment has grown to. Here's the amount you've put in your pocket. You've taken out. Okay. And the columns have changed here. Here's the earnings. Here's the reinvestment amount that's going into the balance. And here's the amount in your wallet. Notice these two are identical because it's 50-50. And you can adjust this. You could go 70-30 because, you look at these earnings here. This is a fair amount of money for many. It certainly is for me, $10,000 a month. Maybe I don't need that amount of money. This is a very subjective thing, but, by the end of this run on a year, you've turned that $50,000 balance. You're almost getting that amount monthly. Here's at 39,000 in earnings, and you're taking out 19,000. Maybe you say, I don't need that much money coming in at that point. I think I'd like to just, let's see what the account grows to if I put it on 70% reinvest and only take out 30. You're still taking out 110, but look at your account size. It's now 308 and it's generating $45,000 going into reinvestment and 19 in your pocket by the end of that run. Maybe you go 2 years to see what that looks like. And this can be a real eye opener. You have a $50,000 balance. Look at this. By the end of that 2-year period, your account value is 1.8, almost 1.9 million. You've taken out 790,000 in cash. You have a 5,200% return, and your total earnings are 2.6 million. You're going to have a tax problem. Real deal. Good problem to have. You're going to need to hire a good accountant to help you out. But look at this. I mean, at 70-30, here's your earnings. Here's how much you've reinvested into your account, which is now at 1.8 million. You're taking out toward the end of this run, 75 to 100 plus $1,000 a month to put in your pocket. And I'm sure you'll figure out what to do with it. Not a bad problem, right? I mean, this is, and guys, this is math. The key variable is that rate of earnings per month. Can it do it? And can it, most importantly, stay consistent? I think you get the idea of how powerful this is. This is something that when people see it, and I've actually seen people manifest these kinds of results, and it's such a powerful thing. I am so excited about what we're bringing to bear because it will help manifest these kinds of results. It's not guaranteed. There's risk here. Okay, things can happen, but the idea that it's possible is pretty darn cool. So what I've just shown you is what copy trading is, the importance of the solidity of the broker, withdrawals, and then how compounding works. Each Monday, Robert Russell leads a class, which is at 8 p.m. UK time. And with Tony Lack and Robert Russell, they get into the wrenching on the car. You know, this is about getting people up to speed that have their account registered, maybe not verified yet, maybe verified, they need to get it funded, then they want to select a trader, all the minutia and all the mechanics of how to do the stuff behind the scenes that gets you running. And Robert, if you would chime in, because I know that you've added another event, and I'm most excited about this. When is your event with teaching people the basics of how to use their MT4? Is that built into this one, or is that a separate event?
So that one is going to take place next Wednesday, 7:30 UK time.
Okay. So that's one that I'll need to add to my presentation here. Let me make sure to make note of that. 7:30 UK. And what are you calling that event?
Good question. I will get back to you, Robert. I'll have to get a name on it.
Okay.
Just put me on the spot.
I'll put MT4 question mark
Yes.
name.
Yeah.
Okay. And the benefit of that, guys, is where we're headed with some of these classes. This is the basics of just getting your copy trading account set up, which is great. The one on Monday. The one he's doing on Wednesday now is, let's, for maybe lack of terms right now, is MT4 101. Do you have MT4 on your phone? Do you have MT4 on your computer? What is MT4? It's the trading platform that many of us use. It's free. You can get it on your phone. You can get it on your computer. What Robert's going to show you how to do is the basics of operating MT4, which is when you have trades in your account and you like the way it looks and you say, hey, I'd like to capture that profit right now. You don't have to wait on the trader. You can go ahead and just close them yourself if you choose to. So that's something Robert's going to show you how to do. He's going to show you also how to enter a stop loss and a take profit. And there's ways to do that on both the phone and the computer, but he'll show you the mechanics of that. It's a and then ultimately you're going to see a class from Robert that will be teaching a trading style that he is learning and in the process of perfecting. But boy, am I knocked out by the results he's getting and how often his predictions are right on the money. So that's going to be a real value add additional class that we'll put in place in addition to the MT4 class. Is this one still a go, Robert, or no?
Not at the minute, Robert. Not at the minute.
Okay, I'm going to skip that slide from now on. Saturday, this one we do each week, and this is the one where we have a drawing. So very excited about that. And then we have the Q&A and enrollment process. In other words, if you have questions. Right now, if you like what you see and you're a guest here, reach out to the person that referred you here, get their link, and we can literally help you sign up when we do this Q&A and enrollment process. You do need to have the link of the person that referred you here. whoever they are, you want to honor them and make sure that they get credit for what you do in RoboForex. We will not sign you up. You need to get with them. Now, this is a site that we've put together for the team, timefreedomteam.xyz. You can go over here and you can get all of the information necessary to show somebody. So you can send a prospect to this safely. There's no way that they can sign up on this site, but they'll get the idea of what we do. They can get plugged into our groups, our Telegram channel, our YouTube channel, rather, Telegram groups. And additionally, then from step 3 on down, step 3 says, go get the link from the person that referred you. Step 4 is signing up as a client and or an affiliate. By the way, on that topic, you can be an affiliate with no money in the trading account. So if you're really strapped for money, but you need to earn money and you've got hustle, you can do that. And I'll get into the affiliate part in just a minute. But everything is on this site that you need, including the presentation that you see here. It's on the site. And on the very bottom, there's a Dropbox folder with that. At the very top is the calendar with all of our events on it, which I need to clearly update with that 7:30 UK time. Is that on Wednesday, Robert?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. I'll make sure to get that updated on the calendar as well. The calendar is really handy also, guys. If you go to this site, timefreedomteam.xyz, you can add the calendar to your calendar. And in so doing, it will automatically adjust on your Google Calendar to your time zone. So you can see all of our events in your time zone. So if you're in Nigeria, you can see the events in Nigeria time. If you're in Malaysia, you can see them there. If you're in, Mexico, you can see them there, wherever you may be. Now, the affiliate and the partner program, again, this is optional. What I'm going to show you is that it's simple. It works. You can withdraw and you can add money to compound on your account. There are no payout limits. There's daily payments. In fact, you can retrieve money multiple times a day if you choose to, if it's there to retrieve. No deal restrictions, no bonus restrictions, 24/7 support, which is really good support, and analytics. This is where you really see the maturity of this broker, is in this affiliate tracking. So we've got 4 ways to earn, and really we have 5, which I'll get into, but your own profits from doing copy trading, that you're copy trading into your account. A percentage of the profit, meaning you refer people that are clients of yours and you get money from the trader splits that money with you. You get commissions that are charged by the company that the company splits with you. You get a bonus once a month, which is real cool. As you start to earn money from number 3, you get a monthly bonus at the beginning of every month. And you could be a copy trader yourself. If you have developed the skills to do that, you can be a copy trader yourself. And that's another item on this list. If you aspire to do that, you may not. That's completely optional. Now, let me show you how this works in concept. This is now the trader part. Let's say you put $5,000 in here, and this is completely arbitrary. So don't look at that 23% like that's a guaranteed number. It is not. It's just for purposes of example. Maybe lower, maybe higher, but let's use 23% for our example. 5,000 times 23% is an $1,150 profit. You've agreed to pay the trader 30% performance fee each week. And so the trader takes $1,150, takes off the 30%, and you have an $805 profit. Happy days. Okay, that's how that works. Now, here is how the trader also got, the trader got that. Let me back up here. This is Rust. This is the amount that you have taken away, and I'll show you how now the trader is paid. So let's say that you have 5 friends that did exactly what you did. They each put in $5,000. So that's $25,000. Let's say they were lucky enough to have a 23% return during the period. They had $5,750 in gross profit. The trader has charged the 30% that particular trader charges. And this varies. It may be higher, maybe lower, but many traders will charge 30% performance fee. That's $1,725. Divide that by 2, and here's the amount that you get and the amount that the trader gets if you are the affiliate that is introducing clients to that trader. If the trader doesn't have an affiliate in the middle, just double that number. It's $1,725 that the trader receives. But in this case, because you were the affiliate, you used your trader link, you get $862. Now, here's the part that is so exciting with the the amount that you're paid from fees that the company charges, like the spread, commissions that they charge on trades and so forth, you get a split with them, 35% on your first tier, 20% on your second tier, 15% on third, 12.5 on fourth, and 10 on fifth. I was kind of dismissive of this when I first saw this incorrectly, because I thought, it's just peanuts. It's not that much. I was wrong. Our friend from Ireland, I don't want to put him on the spot, but I know that he's had days where he has earned north of $1,000 on a couple of occasions. And Robert, what do you say as a conservative average per week that you're earning on this part of the plan right now, just this part?
So average in most week now in around $700, $800
per week.
Yeah.
Okay. So using the low number, that's $2,800 a month ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Good number. So taking, here, if somebody earns between $100 and $500, they earn a 10% bonus. Robert is in this column right here. Take his $2,800, multiply that by 15%. His bonus at the beginning of I'm going to use 3,000 because it's mathematically easier. 10% of 3,000 would be 300. He'd earn a $450 bonus at the beginning of August, assuming he earned $3,000 in this part of the plan here. You get the idea. It's 15%. 20% if you're at 30,000 in profit and up. And we both have the goal, Robert and I do. We have a pact to achieve this bonus by the end of the year. And imagine, you're getting $6,000 at the beginning of every month. That can heal a lot of things and add a lot of capital to your trading account. These are the things that I hope you've taken away from this. It's simple. It works. You can add this money that you earn there to your trading. You can withdraw it and do whatever you want. It's your money, so you can do whatever you want with it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get into the drawing. And do we have guests here? If you're a guest, type the word guest. What is a guest? Somebody that has registered their account and verified, but they are not funded yet. Okay, an unfunded account, or you're just looking for the very first time. Okay, Claudia is a guest. Okay. And you must agree to allow us to publish your name and picture. So if this is disagreeable to you, you cannot participate in the drawing. But if you're okay with that, then you can participate in the drawing. Money will be delivered once your account is verified. So, okay, we've got Max as a guest.
We have Jim, Max, Claudia so far.
Okay, hang on a minute. I got to get the handy dandy. That's the wrong one. Hang on a minute. Let me get that up here. Okay, Wheel of Fortune, Robo Forex style. This is my favorite part of these events. I think in a different life, I was a game show host. Okay, we've got Claudia. What were the others, Robert?
Jim.
Okay.
Yeah. Max.
Helen. Okay.
Victor.
Now, Helen, have you funded your account yet? If somebody's funded their account, they can't participate. Or can they? No, I think we said that was the line. In other words, they either don't have an account and haven't registered, or they've registered but not funded. Once you're funded, then you're over. Okay, so you're able. Thank you, Helen. You're able to participate. Claudia, Jim, Max, Helen, Victor. Anybody else?
Guys, there's a lot of people on the call. I know there's new people.
Don't be shy here, guys. You can win $100, and right now you got 20% chance if you're one of the 5.
So, guys, we give it another 30 seconds. So if you're not in, as we say, you count one. So if you're
look at who's here. Another Irishman, Don Murray. Such a great opportunity. I won end of May. Yeah, we used your picture, Don, and appreciate that.
Yeah.
Too bad we couldn't meet. Under the circumstances, I completely understand why, and my condolences again. But we'll the next Ireland is going to be on a list, I think, of hubs that we use more than not when we go to Europe, because we had a very pleasant time there. Just by the way, quick thing, just waiting maybe for another guest to pop in. I discovered something when coming back to the USA from Ireland that I'd never seen anywhere else, and that's the ability to go through all of the immigration and customs process in Ireland. We didn't have to do it when we got back to the USA. We walked into the airport, grabbed our bags, and we're out. It was so cool. I love that about the Dublin airport. There's a USA specific part where they herd all of the USA people into that, and it was just very convenient. So there's my plug for Ireland. I want my money. All right. Let's see. Such a great opportunity. I want to, yeah, may need to get to Seattle, and yeah. Okay. Last call, guys. If you're a guest, don't be shy. Now's the time to chime in. You have a shot. If you're a guest, if you have not created a Robo4X account, or you have created one, but you've not funded it, you're eligible to be a guest. So don't be shy.
Yeah.
If you're here and then you meet one of those two criteria, you're good to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Here we go.
Here we go. Who's it going to be? Oh, Jim squeaks it out.
My God, another Irish guy.
How about that? How about the luck of the Irish? There you go. Yep. Congratulations,
How
Jim.
about that, Robert? Yeah,
no bother,
Jim.
So that's your account, Jim, funded. You can get in contact with me. So there you go. Your $100 is going to be funded into your account during the week.
Excellent, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No bother, Jim. You're in, and you got to show you won. So congratulations.
You're a gentleman. Thank you.
No
I'll
problem.
Talk to you soon.
Okay. We kept you waiting long enough on the trader, and I think we should record this part, keep the stream running. Robert, do you agree?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I will turn off the stream once we get to the Q&A part, and just, I see a hand raised. Gene, we'll get to you. But before we do on the Q&A, we want to get into something we're most excited about. And we mentioned the import of consistency in trading. Consistency is crucial. And we've had traders. We had a trader when I first came aboard, a trader by the name of David Franke. David is a German young man from Germany. He lives in Dubai. He was doing world-class trading. I mean, this guy's a good trader. And one day he had a bad hair day and he had an 11.5% loss. Now, those of us that knew him and knew his trading style knew that he could have probably recovered that in 3 to 4 days. And what happened was, clients have the latitude to do something that, if a trader is winning a lot, you think, he's always going to win, right? This is not a good decision. Plan on him losing and protect your account accordingly. There's a setting called proportional on Robo4X that if you leave it on a 1, whatever the trader sees as a loss, you, the client, see as a loss. If you change that number and you ratchet it up, then that 11.5% loss gets bigger. On a win, it's great. You're making 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as the trader is making as a percentage, but on a loss, it gets equally magnified. Well, there were some folks that thought, well, if 1 is good, 2 is better, 3 is better yet, 4 is super duper, and 5 is the one I'm going to choose. And they did. And they turned an 11.5% loss into a 55 to 60% loss, and thereby they felt justified in threatening the life of David, his family, and so forth, because David was very visible. He went out in the marketplace, with here's my beautiful place that I live, and my Lamborghinis and watches, and a fair amount of chest pounding going on. My restaurant, well, they knew where he lived and they knew where to find him, and they threatened him and his family. And he said, "That's it, I'm out. I don't need this." Now, he learned a lot from that. I'm sure we learned a lot from that, which is always, always, always to protect the identity of the traders, because there's exposure. You've got some really irrational people out in the world. And, when you have 18,000 subscribers following you and $60 million assets under management, somewhere in there, you're going to have some nuts, and they appeared. So what we decided to do as a general rule with any traders that we're working with is to protect their identity, to make sure that that would never occur again. And, base the decision on to work with that trader. Do you have the trading metrics? Can you prove what they've done? Can you show, with a MyFX book and a MyFX and an FX Blue, their performance? And give access to them to communicate with the clientele, but not to ever disclose who's behind the curtain, if you will. And what you're going to see from us, we won't give you the name today, we won't give you the links today, but what we will do is talk about what we're doing to test these traders prior to them being released. And traders, notice that was plural. So excited about that. That just happened. Robert alluded to that. We have 2 world-class traders, institutional grade traders, really capable people. The first one that we'll be introducing, there'll be a conservative strategy. We don't have the number. We will have the number by this time next week as to what they've earned this coming week. And we'll be able to show you that on a MyFX book. You also will be able to get the links from your sponsor. And what you need to do is make sure that your sponsor is tuned in. Like if you're in Robert Russell's team and you're frontline to Robert Russell, you're in his direct group. So you'll get the links. Now, if you're underneath somebody that's a direct to Robert, you won't get the links. You need to communicate with that person and say, hey, how can I get the links from that Robert and so forth is going to be using? So there's some logistics involved. Why? Because on the trader stuff, there's only one tier of compensation. So Robert's directs, he wants them privy to what trader he's going to recommend. Same thing with me. I've just created a Telegram group. Robert was smarter than I was. He did that from the beginning. I just did. And now I'm getting all of my directs in there so I can communicate new traders directly with them, not one at a time, but one to many. So know that we'll have that out. And you don't want to miss out on it when they come out. Maybe you want to evaluate how somebody else does for a while. That's up to you. That's cool. But when you see the numbers, you'll want to get this. And the initial trader will be trading only the US 30 instrument, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And the initial strategy will be a conservative strategy, one that we're fine tuning that with them. The second strategy is going to be one that is high risk. It is an aggressive strategy, definitely not for everybody, but they have doubled accounts in under 4 weeks. So if you want in on something like that, just know, come in with both eyes open. The minute that you have the recovery of your asset, meaning if you put in $1,000, which is the minimum on that one, by the way, the second strategy, the first strategy will be 500 minimum. The second strategy will be 1,000 with this particular trader. On that second strategy, if you put in $1,000 and it's 2,000, take out 1,000, get your money back. If you've done that 2 times, you've doubled your initial investment. There's a point at which you may consider letting it run and compounding, but I submit, if it's me, I wouldn't do that on the front end. I would do that after you've gotten the recovery of your initial investment, your seed money back. I hope that makes sense. Now, the second trader that we just buttoned this up actually yesterday. The second trader will be coming out with a 4X strategy initially, and then later a different strategy, which we'll talk about at the appropriate time, but it's gold. I'll let the cat out of the bag. That'll be coming later. The initial strategy will be a 4X strategy. This is a gentleman that is a really competent trader. In fact, trading for institutions, he's very, very good. And it's something that he'll be trading standard kinds of 4X pairs. With that trader, you can have a ProCent account with $100 in it, or something like probably $700 and up. We're still going to be figuring that out. It'll be dollars. ProCent account, you put in $100, it looks like it's trading $10,000. It works best proportionally on smaller accounts. But here's the key thing. Both of these traders, they're each going to have 2 strategies. So we'll have 4 strategies from 2 traders. And just know that these are some of the very best traders in the world. They literally are world-class and trading for institutional accounts. So we're most excited about it. Robert, maybe if you want to chime in, add any of your observations in this, because you've been, integral and instrumental in this whole process. And I so appreciate that of you along the way, but your observations, I'd appreciate very much if you can add to anything that I've said.
No, you've literally knocked it on its head. It's like, as what it says, you should at the start, we had our trader, we went through a rough patch. It's like what I described to Robert yesterday, is if the heavens has opened and just placed those traders in our hands. People are thinking, okay, we heard this before, but I am super, super confident that these traders will perform. As we says, we've seen them in the background, we've seen testing, we've seen the results. We're going to get another week. We just want this to a fine tune. I'm confident end of next week, but if not, guys, we're not going to give it until we are 100%. The traders are, yeah, we're okay, we're good to go. And then we will give the links out. And then, as it says, it's literally the traders will show the results. But most importantly, we said to our traders last night on the calls, is consistency. We don't want a great week, a bad week, a good week, a bad week. We want consistency over a long period of time. And people ask, how long are they going to stay? Guys, we want them for quite a while. But they're only here, as we say, we don't know. Anything can happen. We don't know. That's something out of our hands, out of your hands. We just take each day as it comes, each week. And as it says, de-risk as quick as possible. And I just can't wait to get this week over. And if everything runs smoothly, then everybody can be on the following week and seeing what we're seeing. And that's why we're so excited.
Well said. Keep in mind, with traders, other than that hiccup that David Frankie had, he'd still be here today, I'm sure, if he hadn't had somebody threaten his family. That would be devastating if I were on the receiving end of that, having to look over your shoulder constantly. That's just no fun at all. But I think short of that, he would still be here. And so we're very keen on protecting the anonymity for that reason of the traders. We know them. We know who they are. In both cases, we go back years with them. So the idea that if you get a trader that's earning the kind of money that David was earning, which was, I'm not going to say the number, but it was a very large number, it's really a shame that, now he makes a lot of money trading on his own. Don't feel too bad for him because he makes very good money trading on his own. But, to walk away from the copy trading income because of some jackasses was very unfortunate. We want to avoid that happening with our traders for obvious reason. And I submit that once they earn the kind of money that David was earning or approximate it, they're not going anywhere. They'd be insane to leave because the money is just, and here's a little plug. Remember me mentioning there was a fifth item, which is if you find a copy trader and that copy trader is really good, a trader, and you put them in the system, you can create a book of business, the like of which is hard to rival because you've got the honey, the bees will come. And, keep that in mind. If you have somebody that is a really capable trader, we'll help you, get that put together. We have an incentive to do that. You're on our team. I mean, why would we not do that? Of course we would. So, Robert, do you have anything to interject before I bring the stream to a close?
No, that's everything on point. I'm pretty sure we covered everything.
Okay, very good. I'll close the stream and then we can get into the Q&A and roll up our sleeves and do the process of